It is June in the garden, and here in North Carolina, Zone 8A, it's getting really hot, it's getting really humid, and I think a lot of gardeners think that we're just done planting for the season, that we're not planting anything in June, and that couldn't be further from the truth. We're actually still planting a lot to keep our summer as most productive as we possibly can. So come along with me today. I'm going to show you what I'm planting in June. All right, first thing we're doing is we are planting peanuts in this open space right here in this bed. I just harvested cabbages, all of my Napa cabbages that I was so proud of. Just harvested those yesterday, actually. And the smart gardener is kind of always thinking ahead and thinking what they're going to replace crops with when they pull them out. And so I was always kind of thinking, okay, peanuts are gonna go after my cabbages here. And for a few reasons. One, this is a large space. And if you don't know, peanuts, they flower and then they form these, they're called pegs, and they have to like fall over to form the peanut in the ground. The point is they need some space. So that's why they're a little bit difficult to grow in containers. You might get your original peanuts, but you won't get the ones that come from the spreading. So this is a large enough space. And then two, it's gonna replenish the soil. Cabbages are really, really heavy feeders. They're uptaking a lot of nutrition out of the soil, and peanuts are actually legumes. They're not nuts at all, which is insane that we call them peanuts. A lot of other cultures call them ground nuts, which I think makes a lot more sense, but it still kind of doesn't make sense because they're not nuts. They really should be called ground beans since they're legumes, but whatever. The point is legumes, they can fix their own nitrogen and bring it into the soil. They actually replenish nutrition in the soil, and they don't need a ton of fertilizer. So peanuts are something perfect to plant after something that's a heavy feeder, or even beans. So I'm going with Schrantz's Deep Black. I got these from Southern Exposure Seed Exchange. I've never grown this variety before, but it seems interesting because they're black peanuts. So I'm excited. I'm gonna go ahead and open these. To plant peanuts, you have to crack them out of the shell. And the peanuts inside are actually the seeds. And I think a lot of people don't know that. I actually saw someone online planting peanuts and they were just planting the entire shell. So make sure that you are cracking those open. To plant peanuts, we are going to plant each peanut about 6 to 8 inches apart, and we're gonna plant them about an inch in depth. June is our last call for planting peanuts here in North Carolina because peanuts need a really long time to grow. They need about 4 or so months. The packet says 110 days, and so usually we're harvesting them in the fall right before the first frost. I like to let them go as long as they possibly can. And June is perfect because peanuts actually need really, really warm soil in order to germinate. They need the soil to be 65 degrees, 70 degrees before they will sprout. So June is the perfect time, but this is our last window. So don't delay, get them in as soon as you can in June. Like first week of June would be ideal just because they do need that long time in order to mature. If you want to learn more about growing and harvesting peanuts, and you want to watch me make my own peanut butter from homegrown peanuts, check out this video. Next, I'm gonna plant out okra, and June is the perfect month for okra because it's the same as peanuts. It really wants warm soil in order for it to start germinating, and I mean, both of these plants hail from Africa, so it makes sense. But I can't go a single season without okra. I love okra, and okra is one of those crops, like you either love it or you hate it. I love pickled okra. I love okra in soups. I love okra, like fried, southern fried okra. Okra is just so good. So I think I'm gonna plant about 3 plants usually is enough for me. I don't like to grow it like a ton because okra, if you've ever grown it, you know, once it starts producing, it really starts producing and you all of a sudden have so much okra. So I think I have the perfect little spot right here behind me that I can squeeze 3 plants. I think I can squeeze 3 plants here, like 1, 2, 3. Keep them about a foot apart. Okra doesn't necessarily grow super wide as it does tall. And I think this is gonna be the perfect little spot. I sow these about 1/2 inch in depth, and I usually put like 2 or 3 seeds just to make sure that there's germination and there's a backup. And okra is more quick growing than peanuts. And most of the time we can get in multiple rounds of okra here in the South. Like I can start this round and then I can do another fall round and get more okra in the fall if I want to. And that's why we're so lucky to live here in North Carolina, because we are still planting out all of these things even in June. Another crop to get in June are your sweet potatoes. If you ordered them from a garden center, most likely they are arriving to you in June. I know I ordered mine from So True Seed, and I think it said that they're supposed to arrive by June 15th, which is a little later than I really like to plan out my sweet potato slips, but I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. But I think it's kind of perfect because I think I've decided to plant my sweet potatoes in the potato bed after the regular potatoes go out. I'll put in my sweet potatoes. I don't know if that's a smart idea for crop rotation or not, but it's really the only space that I have left to plant my sweet potatoes, unless I find something else. So I don't have them yet, but they will be going in as soon as they arrive at my doorstep, and I suggest that you guys do the same. June is also your last call for pumpkins or winter squash. These are my backups that I made in case the ones that I direct sowed didn't make it. Luckily, my winter squash did make it, but now I have all these extras, and I have some that I'm giving to friends. So like 2 of them are claimed, but the rest I think I just want to make space for. And sometimes it's easy as a gardener to just like have future blindness and think, oh, it's really not gonna take up that much space, is it? It's not really gonna crawl all over my garden and then I'm not gonna be able to walk around, is it? But it definitely is. But I still wanna do it and I'm not gonna be able to stop myself. And so my garden is gonna be a jungle this summer. It really is, because I definitely think that I am gonna plant as many of these pumpkins as possible. And this is like the point that I'm probably just gonna black out and just start planting them in random empty spaces that I see. This is a tan cheese pumpkin and we'll put that right here. We'll put another tan cheese pumpkin right here because why not? There's an empty space right here that is calling this Thai King Cobb pumpkin's name. This is a Seminole pumpkin, but it's the larger fruited kind, and I think I kind of want to experiment with just planting it in ground right here. There's like this entire spot that's just kind of bare, except for these little comfreys popping up, and I'm gonna rip those out, but for right now, I think I'm gonna experiment. Just planting this in the ground, and if it thrives, then it thrives, and if it doesn't, then it's fine. But Seminole pumpkin is like really kind of indestructible, so this will be a little experiment. I don't know what this one is, some kind of cucurbita machata pumpkin, but I'm gonna put it right here. Don't know what this one is. It's gonna go right here. I don't know what this one is. It's gonna go right here. Will I regret that? Probably, but that's a problem for future Meg, not right now. I feel satisfied right now. You can also continue planting out cucumbers in June, summer squash, if you'd like. All the ones that I planted were winter squash, and more specifically, they were cucurbita machadas, which are the ones that are the most resistant against squash vine borer. Now let's talk about succession sowing. Succession sowing, I feel, is really important to keep a steady harvest throughout the summer, especially for your quick growing crops, like things that tend to grow really quickly and then they kind of like fizzle out and then you can start again and you can get multiple rounds of them, especially if you live somewhere like North Carolina where we have a really long growing season. Beans, bush beans specifically. Pole beans take a little bit longer to grow. I love planting bush beans anywhere where there is a space, essentially like dead space. You know all the dead space that are under tomatoes? Bush beans or lettuce or something that's like super low lying and quick growing. Perfect under tomatoes. I have some beans, some bush beans that are already growing under tomatoes, but I'm gonna try to go around and just succession sow some of these. These are the Cantere or Cantere from Epic Gardening. Here is a little pocket of dead space, so I'm just going to pop some beans in here. I plant these about 1 inch in depth, like 2 inches apart. I like to really cram my bush beans. They really don't mind being crammed together. Hopefully I can finish this video because look at this, it's about to storm. But that makes it such a good time to be planting all of these seeds and getting all of these plants out, because there is nothing more healthy for a seedling than some good rain. We can also succession sow some of those quick growing herbs that really like to bolt, like dill and cilantro. If you succession sow, you're kind of like ensuring that you have a continual harvest. And dill and cilantro are so annoying because it's like when you want your dill in the summertime, when your cucumbers are coming in, you want to make pickles, it's like already bolted from your spring planting. When you want cilantro, when your tomatoes are coming in and you want to make salsa, it's bolted from the spring. So staying on top of succession sowing, these two especially, I feel like is really important, especially if you use them for culinary purposes in the kitchen. So I'm gonna go ahead and just scatter these. I like to just chaos sow these. I see a space, an empty space, I'm gonna throw some seeds down. It's perfect for chaos gardening right now because it's about to pour down rain for like the next 4 days, which is fine because we need it. We're in a drought right now, so I am not complaining. Little space right here, I'm just gonna toss some dill seeds. It'll be good growing in between this basil and this eggplant. I think it'll be perfect. For the cilantro really likes shade, so I'm thinking I might toss some in here under this A-frame trellis that I have some miniature cucumbers growing up, and we will see how that works. We'll just kind of toss some beside of the cucumbers too. All of this dead space that's right here. We can also succession sow some summer flowers. I love succession sowing summer flowers because, again, I want the blooms all season long. Some summer flowers will go all season, but then some of them, they're beautiful for a couple of months and then they kind of fizzle out. They start looking scraggly, they start getting mildew. And so you can like chop them down and have others growing to succeed them. One of these is sunflowers. So I have 3 flowers actually here that I just purchased from Renee's Garden. I love Renee's Garden, and specifically for flowers. They have a lot of really unique varieties. So I got this sunflower. So this is a teddy bear sunflower, but it's tall. It's tall and it has multiple blooms on like one stem. Usually teddy bear sunflowers are really dwarf and it's like the one sunflower on the stem. So I cannot wait to grow some of these, and like I already have sunflowers all around my garden getting really tall. They're about to bloom. So if I succession sow some right now, then once the ones that are growing now bloom and it's kind of over with, then I won't have that long to wait for more blooms. So that's why it's important to succession. So I also got this climbing nasturtium, which I think I'm gonna put where I have my climbing rose that I just planted, because I know that the climbing rose is not really gonna climb this year. It's just gonna establish this year, but I do want something to climb those trellises. So I think I will plant these all around it. I think that'll be really, really beautiful. And then I have these cosmos. Cosmos are one of those that they kind of have their big bloom and then they can kind of fizzle out. And so I got these double butterfly rose bonbon. These look beautiful, and they're a double flower, double the beauty. So go ahead and get some summer flower succession sown in June. Don't forget, and you can thank me later. You can thank me later. Okay, the weather is getting increasingly sketchy by the minute, so I'm gonna try to hurry through this. We're at Tomato Alley, which this is where all of my determinate paste tomatoes are living. Determinate tomatoes, they're called determinate because they have their determined amount that they're going to put out for the season, and then they die off. They don't produce any more tomatoes. Indeterminates are the ones that are gonna produce all season long. Because of that, I know that these are gonna put out their flesh and then they're gonna die. And I wanna have tomatoes ready to just replace them and get a round two. Get some fall tomatoes and make some fall tomato sauce. So don't forget, in June, probably the later half of June and the end of June, you wanna go ahead and start your determinate fall tomatoes from seed, if you're starting from seed. I am gonna be planting more of the Midnight Roma tomatoes. I haven't tried these yet. I've heard from so many people that they're like amazing, and that's what these are, and I just like cannot wait to try them. So I think I'm gonna just go ahead and plant around 2 of these. Okay guys, that is everything that I'm planting in June here in North Carolina. Let me know what you guys are planting in June, because I know that some of you are just now able to plant. Like you just had your last frost and you're just getting out there and starting planting. So let me know what you're planting. Let me know some of your favorite things to grow in the comments. Let's just have a chat. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe to see more videos like it. And if you don't want to miss a video, you can always turn on your notifications so that you're notified every time I put out a new video. And you can find me on all the places. I am on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Substack if you like written content and recipes. And don't forget to check out the Garden Girls podcast. We drop new videos every single week, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.